A very warm welcome to all the students of Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College. Keeping up with our motto, let learning be a joy and teaching a pleasure. Here we are with remote teaching and learning process to bridge a gap. Happy learning, students. Before we start with our topic today, I want you all to observe these pictures very carefully. And if today, if we were in class, we would have, you all would have answered definitely that someone is helping somebody. It can be over here, there is a small boy helping an old lady, friends helping other friends, and so on. And even in our day-to-day life, we see that we are always helping each other in their difficulties. Because helping others is not only good for them and a good thing to do, it also makes us happier and healthier too. Giving also connects us to others, creating a stronger communities and helping to build a happier society for everyone. Doing things for others, whether small, unplanned acts or regularly volunteering, is a powerful way to boost our own happiness as well as those around us. The people we meet as strangers, when we help them, we get some kind of happiness that we have never got in our entire life. So today's poem that we are going to study is similarly to these pictures. And so today we are going to study a new prose chapter in our English textbook, that is Somebody's Mother. So let's start. Let's know what the poet wants to tell us in this poem. A warm welcome to all the students of Standard 9th. Today we are going to study a new poetry chapter in English, that is Somebody's Mother. Hello students, I am Miss Daisel De Silva, teacher of Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College, will be teaching you all this topic. I request each and every student to please take down notes. If you all have your English textbook, please open page number 37. I request you all to take a pencil because while explaining, I will be explaining difficult words also. I will be giving you all figure of speech also and also rhyme scheme. So I request you all to please take note of all these things. Thank you. Let's know about this poet. This poem, Somebody's Mother, is written by the famous poet Mary D'Aubrain. Mary D'Aubrain was born in 1860 and she died in 1913. She was a very famous poet. She was even an author and a lyricist. She lived in New York and she wrote a lot of poems related to children's, and her publishers were many. So if you all see her famous contributions, we see that most of her poems, most of her works are children related, and therefore her best known poem is Somebody's Mother. And we are very lucky to have one of her poems, because if we see her poem, if we recite her poem, we see so much of care, so much of helping each other, how children are so innocent and how they help each other. So most of her famous works and her contributions are related to children, and one of them is Somebody's Mother. So let's know what she wants to tell us in this particular poem. I hope you all have opened your English textbook to page number 37. So firstly, we will go stanza wise. I will be reading two stanzas each. I will be first explaining you all the meaning of that two particular stanzas. Then I will give you an explanation of the two stanza, and then we will move ahead to the next two stanzas and so on. So let's begin with this poem, Somebody's Mother. The title Somebody's Mother over here somebody, that means we don't know exactly whose mother we are talking about. It's just telling us that that particular mother will be someone's else's. So we don't know exactly who is that mother. Okay. So let's begin with the poem. The woman was old and ragged and grey, and bent with the chill of the winter's day. So in these first two lines of the first stanza, the meaning ragged means her clothes are torn, shabby, dirty, all that. The meaning of the word grey means aged. Bent means sharply curved, and chill means extremely cold. So in the first two lines, the poem starts with a woman who had worn torn clothes and she was old and aged. There was winter season and the winter was so cold that she was not able to control that coldness. She was extremely suffering to bear that cold, and because of the winter season she was bending, she was trying to protect herself from the winter season. Okay, now let's move to the next two lines of the first stanza. The streets were white with a recent snow, and the woman's feet with age snow. So now in this second line of the third line of the first stanza, it is telling us that as it had snowed, the streets had been white. So you all know that when it snows, the entire street it gets covered with white. And the old woman was walking slowly because of her old age. So in the first stanza, it is telling us that the poem starts telling us about the old woman who who had worn this torn clothes and she was very aged, and since it was a winter season, it was extremely very difficult for her to to control that coldness, control that, you all can say, control that temperature. She was so old that she was trying to protect herself from that cold. And then since the since it was snowing, the entire street was covered with this snow. And the now since she is very old, it was not possible for her to walk very fast, and therefore she was walking very slowly because she is aged. Okay, now we shall move ahead to our next stanza. At the crossing she waited long, jostled aside by the careless throng. First, let's look at the meanings. Crossing means going across the road or crossing the traffic. Jostled aside means jerked to one side. So now I'll give you the explanation. And throng means crowd. So in the first two lines we see that the old woman waited there as the crowd was crossing the road. Now since she is old, no one was observing her. She was trying to cross the road, but no one was helping her. She was feeling very helpless because now since she is old, she is feeling very scared to cross that path. And since it is a winter season, she is also thinking that if I cross this road, I might slip off, I might hurt myself, and therefore she is getting very scared to cross the road. So since she wants to cross the road, she is being ignored by many other people who are crossing the road, and she was just kept aside. And we also see that the careless people were pushing her to one side who was passing by her. The third line of the second stanza, of human being who passed by her, unheeding the glance of her anxious eyes. Unheeding, the meaning of the word unheeding means not noticing. Glance means caring look, and anxious eyes means worried look. Okay, so in this stanza, as I've mentioned, giving you all the meanings, we will move ahead to the third line and the explanation. So as I've mentioned, the meaning of the word unheeding means not noticing. So no one noticed her worried look about crossing the road. No one was looking up because all were very busy in their own world. They were not even worried about this old lady. They were so much into their own world, and they were not even caring that let's help the old woman to at least cross the road, because they were so much engrossed, so much busy in their own world. So in this particular first two stanzas, it is telling us that nowadays the world has become so selfish that we are not not even caring about anyone. We are so selfish. We are thinking about ourselves. But let's not be like this, because we are not born to be like this. So let us be helpful for each other. If you see any old woman, man, anyone who needs our help, forget about what people will talk. Let's give it a try. Let's help, because if we help others, then God will definitely help us one day. Okay, so the rhyming scheme of the first two stanzas are AABB, first stanza, and second stanza's also rhyming scheme is AABB. So like grey day, snow slow, long trong, by eyes. Okay, I will give you all the figure of speech also. The first line, the woman was old and ragged and grey. In this particular sentence, the figure of speech is repetition, since the word and is repeated in the line, and also tautology because old and grey is one and the same. Then we have in the second stanza, at the crowded crossing she waited long. So this particular sentence is figure of speech. Figure of speech is inversion. The correct sentence should be, she waited along at the crowd crossing. She waited long at the crowded crossing. Okay. So these are the three figure of speech. The first line, the woman was old and ragged and grey. Repetition, that is and even tautology because old and grey, these words mean the same. And the crowded crossing, she waited long, it is inversion because the sentence should be, she waited long at the crowded crossing. So I hope you all understood these first two stanzas. We shall move ahead to the third stanza. So now we shall move ahead to our third and fourth stanza of the poem. In the first two stanza, we met a very old woman who wanted to cross a street, but since she was old, aged, she was very scared that she might slip, she might get hurt, and therefore she wanted some kind of help so that someone can help her to cross from one part to other. But we get to see that the entire crowd on that particular street was ignoring her, and since it was winter season, it was snowing over there, it was very difficult for her to cross the path because she was feeling extremely cold and frightened. So now let's see what more the woman was facing, what all problems she was facing, whether anyone helps her or not. Let's see. Down the streets with laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school let out. So in this stanza, we'll take one more line. Down the streets with laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school let out, came happy boys like a flock of sheep. A flock of sheep means like how the sheep follows the header. Children came out in a line. So we see in this third stanza, the first three lines, that from the school the boys came out with happiness and shouting. Even y'all, when the school gets over, you all meet your friends and you all keep on telling them the stories, whatever happened in the class, and you all forget the entire world and you all just be with your friends telling them about your story. Similarly, that was happening on that particular street. we see that the school was finally over for the day and the boys were very happy and they came out with happiness and shouting. Like sheep following the header, children came out in a line. So we always maintain the discipline while coming out, and once you're out of the gate you all can do whatever, but from your classroom to the gate you all come in a straight line. Okay. Hailing the snow piled with white and deep, passed a woman so old and grey, hastening the children on their way. So now in this last three lines, first we'll look at the meanings. Hailing the snow means shouting merrily at the snow. Piled means, you all know what is the meaning of piled? Head heaped up means, you all can say one above the other, piling. Okay. And hastened means hurried. Okay. So now in this third stanza, the last three lines. So by seeing the heap of snow, the boys started to shout and shout merrily. So just imagine if one fine day, if we have snow falling all over our streets, we will be so happy and we will definitely go out and play. Okay. So similarly, that was happening with this school students. So they saw this snow all on the street, and seeing that, they were so happy they started to shout merrily, and they started to go ahead of the old and aged woman very quickly on their way. So past the woman so old and grey, hastened the children on their way. Hasten means hurried. So as I have mentioned that those boys, those school boys were so engrossed in that snow that they did not even bother about the old woman who wanted to cross, who wanted some kind of help, but they did not even think about it. They were so much into their own world. Even now, before the street crowds were ignoring her, the old woman, but now we see that even the school students were ignoring her, nor offered a helping hand to her, so weak, so timid, afraid to stir. The meaning of weak means too gentle to defend oneself. Timid means shy and scared. Stir means move. Okay. So in this first two lines, we will see that from those boys, no one gave her a helping hand. No one gave her a helping hand to cross the road. She was so weak as in she was so weak, she was so gentle that she could not even handle herself. The old woman was very shy to ask for help, and steer means move or walk. She was very afraid to even walk from one cross one part to other. She was so scared, and she was even not, and the old woman was not even asking anyone for help because she was very shy. The next line, these the carriage wheels or the horse's feet should trample her down in the slippery streets. Now this woman is thinking, the first, let's look at the meanings. Lest means perhaps. Lest the carriage wheel or horse's feet, the meaning is that she so that the carriage wheels or horse's feet do not run over her, and trample means walk over. So she thought that the carriage wheels or the horse's feet perhaps will run over her on that slippery road. So in the fourth stanza, we see that this particular woman is not even asking help from anyone because she is very shy. And then she is also thinking that if I try to cross the road by myself, if a horse comes, you all know what is a carriage wheel, where during those times we did not have bikes, cars and everything. We had this horse rides, we had this horse carriage wheels where people used to sit and they could travel from their home to anywhere they want to go. So now, since that road is very slippery, the woman even thought that if I even try to cross the road, and if she does cross the road, she is even getting scared that maybe the horse might kick her, or the horse carriage wheel might go over her, and then she might, no one will even come for help, and therefore she is very scared, and all those thoughts are coming. Now even the crowd is not helping her, nor even the children who just came out of the school. And now this woman is very shy to ask for help. And then she's also thinking that if by mistakenly if I cross the road, and what the if I slip, I just slip on the road, the carriage wheel, the horse wheel carriage will fall over me and I might die. So she is thinking about all these things. First we will look at the figure of speech. In the third stanza, the figure of speech, since we have 6 lines, so the figure of speech will definitely change. Sorry, not figure of speech, the rhyme scheme will definitely change, because we have 6 lines in the third stanza. So it's A A B B C C. Shout out sheep deep grey way. And the fourth stanza it's A A B B. Her steer feet street. Okay. Now we shall look at the figure of speech if we have any figure of speech. In the third stanza we have simile. Third line, came happy boys like flock of sheep. So direct comparison between boys and a flock of sheep. So it is simile. Then we also have one more figure of speech in the third stanza, that is sixth line, hasten the children's on their way. It is inversion. The sentence should be the children's on their way hastened. Okay. Then we have one more figure of speech in the fourth stanza. Fourth line, should trample her down in the slippery feet. Alliteration, the letters SS is repeated. I hope you all know the meaning of slippery streets. When any particular street is wet, the particular road gets slippery and we might slip off and we might be hurt. Okay, so difficult to stand because the smooth and wet surface area. So I hope you all understood the first 4 stanzas. It is telling about the world being very selfish. No one is observing her, no one is trying to help her, and even the woman is very shy to ask for help because she might be thinking what others will be thinking, and she is having all those thoughts like if I cross the street I might hurt myself, I might die also. If you all want, I'm repeating the figure of speech again for third and fourth stanzas. Third stanza, third line, came happy boys like a flock of sheep. It is simile because direct comparison between boy and flock of sheep. Then we have inversions, second line. Hasten the children on their way. It is inversion. The correct sentence should be, the children's on their way hastened. Then in the fourth stanza, the fourth line, should trample her down the slippery feet. It is alliteration because the letter SS is repeated. Okay. Now we shall move ahead to a fifth stanza. Now let's move ahead to a fifth stanza. At last came one of the merry troop, the gayest boy of all the group. He paused beside her and whispered low, I will help you cross if you wish to go. So first we'll look at the meanings. Merry troop means jolly or happy group. The gayest means happiest. Paused means stop. The meaning of pause means stop. So at last from the happy group of boys came out from the school. So now the school scene is going on, and finally from that school one particular group who is always happy, they came out from the school, and from that group one particular boy stopped beside her and whispered slowly and asked her very quietly that he would help to cross the road if she wished to go. Now this particular boy voluntarily went near this old woman, and the boy did not grab her hand and walked. The particular boy asked that particular old woman that I am ready to help you to cross the road if you wish to go. That particular boy did not only grab her hand and just took her away, but before touching her, before making her feel like someone is coming to harm her, the particular boy went near her. He asked that particular woman that I will help you to cross if you wish to go. First, we'll look at the rhyming scheme of this stanza. It is AABB. I have just written it side, and we don't have any figure of speech in the first fifth stanza. We shall move ahead to our sixth stanza. Her aged hands on his strong arm she placed, and so without hurt or harm he guided the trembling feet along, proud that his own were young and strong. Then back again to his friends he went, his young heart happy and well content. So first we look at the meanings. Trembling means shivering. Proud means feeling proud of oneself. His own means his own mother. And content means satisfied. So first we'll look at the first four lines and then we shall move ahead. Now the old woman placed her aged hand on his strong arm. Now that particular boy is same like y'all. So finally the old woman agreed. She said, yes, please help me to cross this street. And finally the old woman, she placed her hand, which was very aged hand, on his strong arm, and he carefully guided the shivering feet, means the aged woman, without any hurt or harm. So without any hurt, without any harm, this particular boy, he carefully guided her, he carefully crossed the path, the road for her. He was feeling so proud on himself, whose mother was young and strong. So now he is feeling so proud about himself that I helped someone. Even you also try helping someone, and the happiness that you all will get is countless. Okay, so since that particular boy was helping this old woman, he was feeling so proud on himself, whose mother was young and strong. His young heart happy and when content. So now the boy returned to his friends after helping the old woman, and his heart had filled with happiness and satis satisfaction. Contentment, he was very satisfied. Now the woman gave him, the boy, the permission, and therefore this boy helped her. He guided her to cross the path, and now he's so happy, he's feeling so proud about himself. He also tells his friend that I'm feeling so proud, and his heart is filled with happiness and satisfaction. Why? Because he helped the woman and he was feeling a lot happy. The entire crowd was ignoring her, but that particular boy, who was very happy go lucky boy, who always liked to help, he voluntarily came. He asked the woman that I want to help you if you wish. She gave the permission, and then we see that the boy was helping her. He helped her to cross the street. Now we'll look at the rhyming scheme. The rhyming scheme, now since it contains of 6 lines, the rhyming scheme is AABBCC, arm, harm, along, strong, went, content. Now we'll look at the figure of speech. The sixth stanza, second line. She placed and so without hurt or harm. Alliteration because the letter HS is repeated. Then we have one more figure of speech, that is The fifth line, then back again to his friends he went. It is inversion. The sentence should be he went back again to his friends. We have one more alliteration, that is the last line. His young heart happy and well content. The letter HH is repeated in that particular line. If you all, I am repeating once again for you all. Sixth stanza, second line, alliteration because HH is repeated. She plays and so without hurt or harm. HH is repeated. Then we have inversion. Then back again to his friends he went. It is inversion. It should be he went back again to his friends. And the last line, his young heart happy and well content. This particular sentence is also alliteration because the letter HH is repeated. I hope you all understood these 6 stanzas of the poem. Now only last 2 stanzas are remaining. Now we shall move ahead to our last 2 stanzas of the poem. She is somebody's mother, boys you know, for all she is aged and poor and slow. And someone sometimes may lend her hand to help my mother, you understand. If ever she is old and poor and grey, and her own dear boy so far away. So now in this particular stanza, first we'll look at the meanings and then we will move ahead to the explanation. Lend a hand means help in difficult times. So now in this stanza, it is telling us now the boy comes back to his friends and the boy is the particular boy who helped the old woman. He's telling his friends that she is somebody's mother. Okay, and he also told them that she is very old, she is very poor, and since she is very aged, she can't walk properly. And therefore, he also said that he would he said more that the time would come when his own mother would become old and helpless and he would not be there. But he was sure that someone would definitely be there to help his old mother like him. So now in this particular stanza, in this 7th stanza, we see that how this particular boy helped the old woman who was in need of help. He helped him and he was thinking, that particular boy was thinking as if that particular old woman is his mom. He also thought that the time will come when his mother will also become old and then there will be no one to help. And therefore, he is thinking that if I help old woman today, maybe sometime when I will go out for my work and my mother who will become old, if she ever needs help, someone will definitely come and help my mother also. Next, 8th stanza. Somebody's mother bowed low her head in her room that night and prayed, she said, was God be kind to the noble boy who is somebody's son and pride and joy. Bowed low her head means sat to pray. Pride means feeling very proud. So somebody's mother means that old woman went her home and sat to pray that night. In her prayers, she asks God with this kind of feeling and being very proud and happy that he would show the kindness to the helpful boy who was somebody's son. So now we see that how this particular mother is thanking God and telling God to help that particular boy who helped her today. So also we see that whenever we help someone in our life, in our day-to-day life, they always tells us, they always gives us some blessings, telling that God be with you, uh, God bless you, and all these blessings God will definitely help us. Okay, so in this 7th stanza, the rhyming scheme is AABBCC, and the 8th stanza is AABB, and figure of speech in the 7th stanza is for all she aged and poor and slow. This particular line is a climax because the adjectives are arranged in an increasing order. So we see, and also in the 8th stanza, somebody's mother bowed low her head. That particular sentence is inversion because the particular sentence should be somebody's mother bowed her head low. Okay, so I hope you all understood this poem. This poem is giving us a very sweet, kind, and loving message about helping others, being to care. And even this particular boy, without thinking what others will say, he was very much bothered to help that old woman, and he helped the old woman. And the old woman, she prayed near God to be with that particular boy. I hope you all understood this poem. So we'll have a quick recap of whatever we have studied today. So as I've mentioned earlier, that this poem is written by one of the author famous writer, sorry, Mary O'Brien, and in which writer beautifully described the situation in which a mother goes. She also described about the help that others do. Sometimes help comes from unknown person. This is what really happened in the poem. And also we see that the writer shows some sorrows in the poem along with joyful, and it is about inspiring, it is about helping others. Also in this particular poem we see how it is narrating about a short incident that took place, and how helpful those that boy was. Also we see that this poem is giving us a wonderful message that we should not be cold hearted towards others. We should lend a helping hand to those in need. And this poem also gives us some kind of inspiration of not being selfish. You should think about others, we should help others, those we feel is in need of our help. And to give you all a quick summary of this particular poem, it is the poem as it is written by Mary O'Brien is a beautiful poem depicting wonderful values of care, love for others. And in this particular poem, it started with an old woman who's wearing this rag clothes, which is torn, and she wanted to cross the road, and she was waiting for the traffic to stop so that she could safely go to the other side. But she kept waiting, but the traffic did not stop. No passenger, no people around the street were trying to help her, were not at all concerned about her. After some time, the group of boys came out from the school. They were very happy and noisy, and they were very busy in playing with the snow because the entire street was filled with snow. They moved past the old woman standing at the crossing, but they did not even help her at all. Finally, when there were some group of boys who were known as a happy group, who was known as the jolly group, from that particular group, one particular boy came and he told the old woman that I would like to help you only if you wish. And then finally, this particular boy he helped the old woman to cross the road. However, we see that he lovingly helped, he guided her as if she was his own mom only. And then he went near his friends and he told uh, them that he helped the old lady, thinking that someday, even when his mother becomes old, someone will definitely help my mother. Whenever he won't be around, that someone will definitely help his mother, and therefore he's thinking about that. And therefore he was thinking about his mom, and therefore he helped the old woman. And the boy felt very happy that he helped the old woman. He was feeling very proud. And in the end we see that how the old woman Knight prayed to the god to be kind to that boy who helped her to cross the streets. And also when we help someone to cross road, or whenever we give food to someone who is in need, they always tell that God bless you, always be happy, and so on. So that is what this poem is all about. It is telling us to be very helpful, to be very kind to those who are in need of our help. So I've given you all figure of speech also, rhyming scheme also, meanings also. I hope that is a lot and it is very productive for you all to understand. Thank you. Thank you, students. Stay safe, stay healthy.